in the finance dashboard, it gives you a means to get show your high level income, expenses, and associated profit. It is not a full blown accounting package, it is not a full blown bookkeeping package. It's not going to file your taxes and it's not going to do any automatic bank reconciliation or anything. It is a manual process for inputting all of your incomes and your expenses. So if you have a lot of transactions, this is not necessarily the easiest thing to use. There isn't an easy way to import data. It's Notion, you're limited to what Notion will provide. However, if you only have a few transactions a month, then it's perfectly manageable. So let me show you what it can do. On a yearly basis, we have to set up a few standard setups, for want of a better word. So let's go to setup first. Now scroll down and we'll look at the finance dashboard is where we want to be. So firstly, we want to define the categories that we want to have our expenses associated with. So this could be one category or it could be broken down into something more meaningful. Up to you what those categories are. These are just examples, but what you can then do once you have these categories, you can put in your target spend. So you can say, I only want to spend £1,000 a month on materials, insurances of 200, etc., etc. Whatever's relevant to how you run your business. Then, in the same way, you can then define your revenues categories. So these are where you get income. So it could be from clients. So it could be, you could list each individual client. You could have a total revenue stream of client services or affiliate income or product sales, whatever is appropriate. You may only have one income stream, which certainly makes it easier to input. So this is your first setup. You probably only need to do it once, but you can build on it year on year. So they're your main categories. Then, on an annual basis, you need to set up your groupings for the year. So first of all, you're saying what your summary is. So you can call your annual summary anything as long as it includes the year in it, because it uses that information, the 4 characters, 2023, as a means to determine where that transaction lives. So it'll automatically add income. It'll automatically add transactions that you add throughout the year into this summary. So you need to first of all make sure you've got a line entry with the appropriate year on it. You can put the year there, but it's useful for reporting, but it doesn't help with the automatically allocating the transactions. So you need the name there. After you have done that, then you can set up each month for that year. So each month then has to be formatted in the same way. So it's got to have the month name and the year in it. So this particular name column has to have those values, and that again automatically allocates the transactions that you enter into the appropriate month, and therefore you get your dashboard filled out. So you can then also put in your target. This is your target profit. So this is what you're looking for your profit here. Now, this section here is really just for info, because actually by creating the records here, it should give you the right information in this section here. If you're using Profits First, then you can change the titles here to allow for the percentages that you want to allocate to each of your Profit First bank accounts. I'm not going to cover what Profit First is, but for a small business, it's a useful way to make sure you're making profit day one. It's just a different way of looking at the numbers, but it's a way of getting it into your head about focusing on the profit rather than everything that's coming out, so that you can make sure you're managing your money appropriately. So if you're using Profit First, you can update these column names to be the appropriate percentages by, if you're changing that, if it's not 50% in your owner's comp bank account, you can change it by editing the formula and put it in, maybe it's 45% or whatever. Change it there, hit done, and that will update it accordingly for your business, and that will then filter back into the dashboards. So there's the initial setup that is just once a year and you should be done. So let's now go back to the finance dashboard. So once you've got all of that set up, your annual summary will be running along all the time. So this is just the information. It's not about entering the details in that. It's just taking all of the information that you're inputting on a month-by-month basis. So within here, we have got transactions, so it can show you all of your revenue and all of your spending. So you may choose to enter them individually here, so you're not going in a monthly into each month. But if you do that, you have to allocate the month. So it's easier to click on the month. That will only show you the month that's relevant, and you just go in and say income client A, and that was revenue stream 1, and that was £1,000. And let's say we've got income client 2. Again, that could be, it's just for giggles, let's put it in there, and that was 5,000. Now your expenses could be office rent, office expenses, and that, let's say 500, and so on. So you could have it that you have a set table here that you can cut and paste each time and put it in, but at the moment that's individual. So you can see your targets and where you are. So your actual, we didn't put any targets in our setup, and the materials, etc. are in there. So that's all you need to do is enter, input expenses for that month. We then go back. Here we can see that we have met our income target. I can't remember what was in there. We've got total revenues updated here in the year summary. So you can see this is the number coming up from there, from what we've added in. We've got the year. So you can look at it from a monthly basis, or you can look at it from the main dashboard. The transactions are just giving you a little bit more detail, so breaking it down by revenue stream and breaking it down by all spending. And then it's showing you a bit of what's happened. So income, so you can see what's happening.